Alright. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one's especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but I couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked toward the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all other park-like things. It's like a college or a university, basically. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. Oh, is he thinking it's like a hospital or something? I don't know. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many for us for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley, even though I was told this is my new school in the back of my head. It doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kinda eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life. Even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I open the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Niki. Nakai? So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Oh, I'm guessing Nakai is Hisayo's last name. So Mutao. I'm sorry pronunciation. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asked for you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Isn't that what any, anime character student goes through? They're like the new student, they go introduce themselves to a class and everything. I feel like that's it's probably a common theme. Bear in mind, I don't really watch a lot of anime. I'm not a hardcore otaku, but I have seen a couple and played a few games, so somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah, of course. It's always good to introduce yourself. Yeah, sure, I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. I mean, honestly, personally, I'm kind of a shy person and everything, but if I was, the new student and everything, I'd like to make a good impression, you know? Because, when I was in middle school, I was very, to myself and everything, and in 6th grade it was kind of rough, because at first not a lot of people kind of liked me, especially, go watch my video where I said I don't have friends and I'm okay with it. You'll understand what I'm saying. So, of course, but not everyone to be the center of attention. And for the record, I didn't really introduce myself in middle school, and when I was the new student, it was like because everyone was like, it was the beginning of the year, like I didn't show it up like in some time in the middle of the school year, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Mutao opens the door and enters. Look at that fucking face. What kind of artwork is that? Holy shit. It's a creepy ass painting. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least not this soon. Oh, look, those are all the students. And I definitely know this character right here is going to be very important. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around partially so I won't have to meet the curious gaze of my new classmates. Okay. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames, simple and efficient. I stopped walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I noticed that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Yeah, so those are all the students. I know that one's important. This one also kind of, but you know. Yep, so that's everyone. It's a little jarring. I'm just trying to see if it pans out, and maybe then I'll keep on reading. Okay, that's probably everyone. You have this one student next to the window. Maybe that's the main character. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it would make her invisible. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motion, sign language. She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute, so is the cheery-looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Well, yeah, obviously, she's like the only one with those drills on her sides. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisayo Nakai. Nakai? Nakai. Hisayo Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever, so I should say something more exciting. I don't know if I skipped something. I don't think I have, but it's just that because I'm using my mouse pad, so yeah, that's why. Because I don't want to click on the mouse because it makes a sound, and I like this one. It's more quiet. You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's to me playing. I'll listen to this over to see how it is, if you know what I'm saying. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said, though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along with while letting my gaze sweep around the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandage stump. It makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? I mean, I'm just gonna stop right here. Not really stop right here, but I like to point out that when I was in kindergarten, I actually went to a special ed section of my elementary school, but not a whole lot of students were like disabled physically, but they were like disabled mentally. Like there's some that had like ADHD, learning disabilities, and even there was one in a wheelchair. So technically I've actually gone to something what Hisayo went through a little bit, but of course that was because of me, because back then I was not that bright, not interested in school. I had like some learning issues. That's why my parents, when they started with elementary school, I went to the special eds place in a section of my elementary school. So yeah, I'd just like to point that out, Yeah, is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She is the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh right, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. Oh, as he calls out her name, the cute bubbly looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. She actually kind of looks pretty thick, I have to admit. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha 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 ha! What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi Shikuan, or I'm sorry for pronunciation. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I don't know if it's pronounced gestures or gestures, I apologize, of her own. I started to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you?" Of course, because she's deaf. I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shichan. Is it pronounced Shichan? Yeah, I think it's Shichan. I apologize again. There's gonna be a whole lot of butchering in this visual novel, I just know it. So I'm really sorry. Shichan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today. So soon, Hi-chan, right? So soon, Hi-chan, right? Sorry. Hi-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Ha 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 ha, yeah, you look just like a He-chan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there is anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Excuse me. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. Ha 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 ha. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there, not just with school either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store, really, Shi-chan. Ha 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 ha. Learn about where we are going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it, half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Wow. Alright. This girl's so cheerful, I love it. And another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yup, Shizune is fine. Yeah, I was always wondering why it goes to her and it says Shizune, you know? Heh, okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Huh, alright, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. Wah, that too. She looks pissed. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I meet Mutao down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There is a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice, it almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizun to a table sitting opposite of her. Also, fun fact, I don't know if some of you guys, if I told you guys this, when Hurricane Irma struck where I lived, I actually, since both my parents worked as doctors, during the middle of the week, me and my brother go to the hospital and have some of the cafeteria food and stuff. You know, so it was actually really nice and stuff. So I kind of also experienced it. I don't know if it's also like when it says scientific proportions and stuff. It was kind of like just regular meals and stuff. They're very good too, you know? It's just a nice experience, you know? I pick something at random and follow Shizun to the table sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizun. I don't understand science, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite. Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guides, so you should ask if there is something. I wonder. Oh. I think I got everything I need to know. Ask about the library. Ask about Shizun's deafness. You know, I think I'd rather ask about the library. I mean, that's kind of interesting. Also, I kind of like to know about a university library and stuff, you know, so yeah, I'd go with that. Ask about the library. Oh yeah, is there a library in this school lately? I've gotten into reading, reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. What, she doesn't like reading? There is. It's in the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Also, I'd like to point out that once it looks like it's clear that there's going to be choices of which girl to hang out or which girl to choose, I'm going to save it at parts to, you know, especially like at the beginning part, so then I could then like keep track of the specific girl like I chose and stuff, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to be doing that. But just now, I don't think that's one of those things. I think it's just like, you know, just something, you know? It's second floor, we can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizun sign back and forth very animately, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they are talking about secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice the conversation in sign is not enough to fill a silence. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. Oh, she's the shy one, obviously. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning into stone just from our presence. Misha and Shizun either don't notice or don't mind it, as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizun are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hee-chan. Hee-chan. We've got to hurry already, since there is a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Wait, the teacher said I'd have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. We joined the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing out other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually a part of the main building. This is the auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamuku Foundation office and all the nurses' office. They even have a swimming pool. How is that official? Don't be silly, Hichan. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Bye. A whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with the actual education. I guess it's necessary for a place like this.